So as a channel marketing professional, what would your one piece of advice be for someone trying to build an MDF program in today's or to support today's channel ecosystem?
Yes. So, rewinding a couple of years back at Barracuda, as we were establishing our MDF program, one of the things that we did that found to be very successful is, hosting roundtable discussions with some of your key partners, understanding based off of your current program, whatever that looks like, what do they like, what don't they like, understand what those pain points are, whether it's from a platform perspective, from an entirety of the program perspective, the payment model, understanding what they are seeing with other vendors can help kind of shape your program and give you areas of where you want to refine, where you want to build, and start to prioritize those key areas. So if some partners are sharing similar feedback, you can kind of bubble that up into one bucket and say, this is a key gap today in our MDF program. We found that being very successful as we look to shape it. And even having those internal conversations similarly to ensure that there's alignment with partner feedback as well as from internal feedback. And you can start to build from there. But that's kind of what our step one was is, understanding the gaps, listening to your partners, making sure that there's a voice there from their perspective as well, so that, you can make some changes that can benefit both the partner and the vendor. Because essentially your partners will be the ones leveraging this program. So making sure that, there's an ease of doing business and understanding their pain points is very important.
Great, Carolina. Thanks. Okay, and Laura, as a successful MDF program owner, I've seen you doing it across multiple companies. What are two to three of the key building blocks that people need to take into account when, building their program, be it a brand new one or changing an existing one?
So I'd say there's, based on my experience across, different companies that I've worked with, making sure that first and foremost, that the MDF program aligns with the company's overall strategy and channel goals. It's not just about having budget available, it's about defining specific, well thought out ideas that can support our go-to-market objectives, and making sure that we look at the different partner types and ensure that each activity has clear proof of performance. Doing the upfront work pays dividends later by making the program easy to understand and participate in. And that's what gives great partner satisfaction scores. The other piece is if you have thinking about your partner and they work with multiple vendors, making sure that it's ease of doing business with a platform approach that provides self-service capabilities through the portal. Your partner portal should be the go-to place where they're looking to enter their MDF requests and claims and track everything in one place, and making it really simple for partners. And then in turn, your internal teams need to have real-time visibility on how budgets are being spent, what the performance is on the different activities, and then from there, making sure that you continue to measure and optimize the program. As the business changes, you will need to shift and make updates to your program to make sure that it's continuing to grow with your business. And I think that in turn gives a great experience for everybody.
Thanks, Laura. That's great advice. And Louise, last but not least, kind of the opposite of that, in your experience, what are the most common pitfalls that, either prevent or cause failure with MDF programs?
Yeah, I think the most common one is quite broad, but it's very true. It's people or vendors don't set expectations. They don't set expectations internally, as we said earlier, about kind of the ROI and what that takes, but they also don't set expectations with partners around what the funding is used for. So you can't just have, a bucket of funding and just kind of say to partners, hey, have at it. You'll get nowhere with that. So you need to be, as we said, very clear with the expectation that you set of your partners about the activities that are eligible. As we said, work with your partners and do that collaborative piece. And then when it comes to the ROI, set expectations with that. Be clear about what you expect, because again, you need to be able to prove return on the investment that you've made as an organization in these activities. So yeah, I think just setting expectations across the board is absolutely fundamental. And I've seen, numerous times where that hasn't happened, and it causes internal confusion. Money isn't, the marketing funding that is available isn't spent because nobody really understands what it can be used for. And then the partners get frustrated because they ask for activities that aren't, permitted, but you haven't been clear about what is actually required. And then, as we've already said, when it gets to the ROI piece, partners think that they're giving you what you need, but you haven't been clear about what that actually is, so that you end up having a back and forth around that. So yeah, I think setting expectations across the board is important.
Yeah, again, it's really good advice, and in the spirit of true partnership, that's how it should be done.